Page 38, Spacial Concepts. In this lesson, again, we're looking at groups of notes, but this time we're focusing on notes that are on spaces, or in spaces, whichever. And you'll notice that all these notes here are in spaces. You'll learn to recognize them eventually. When they finally get around to introducing chords to you, this will make more sense, because I look at those first two measures and I see one chord. Because this note, the next note, and then F sharp in the second measure, that's a D chord, and you'll be taught that eventually, and you just learn to recognize them. It makes reading the music so much easier when you can do that. But as far as recognizing the groups and recognizing patterns and so forth, that just takes time and experience. You'll get it as you're reading more and more music. You'll pick them up. You'll recognize, oh, I've seen this pattern before. Anyway, let's look at this piece and see what we get. It's 3 lines long. Clef signs are still treble and bass clef. Now, keep in mind they can change, but at the beginning, that's what I'm after. I'll deal with any changes later. And the time signature is 3/4 time. And I look over, I see a bunch of half notes, quarter notes, dotted half note at the end. We can do all that. The hands are playing one hand at a time, so I'm going to take both hands together here to shorten the video up. The right hand starts with thumb on D. That puts you in this position. The left hand, when it comes in the third measure, is little finger on E, and that's in this. And I hope you know the names of these notes in the music. If you still don't know them, well, keep doing that play and say it drill. Keep drilling yourself on them until they're automatic to you. You don't have to figure them out. You don't have to write them in. You just know what they are. It's important. So we're here. And it starts just quarter notes. And then the F sharp, well, the F3's on that, so I'm going to use it on F sharp. You don't need the finger number there, just use that one. The left hand. See these 3 notes here in the left hand? That's another chord. You'll recognize that eventually. And then second line, now during the rest, somewhere the right hand has to come up here. But you have plenty of rests. You've got 2 measures of rest, and any time during that 2 measures you can move up. I usually do it right before, so it would be like in the first line, the last 2 measures is here. When I play that half note, that's when I would move up. That's usually how I do it, because you'll learn to look ahead in the music as you're reading, and that's where I usually notice it. I gotta move. And then you go on, the second line is here, and you'll notice the left hand has to move also, so sometime while the right hand's playing, the left hand has to come down here. And again, the right hand has to move, so while you're playing the half note, get the right hand down. Now, what is going on here at the end? They put in a treble clef there. Surprise! Clef signs can change anytime, anywhere, any number of times in a piece. You just take them as they come. They can change in the middle of a measure, anytime. Clef sign can change anytime. It can change and stay there, or it can change just for one note and then change back, and anything goes. So in this last line, in the third measure, you get treble clef in the left hand. You just have to figure out the notes. The right hand is here. The left hand's going to cross over, and you have an E, A. Because that's what the notes are in treble clef. Now, as far as the fingers go, you can play most any fingers. Keep in mind the right hand is here, so you want to stay out of the way pretty much. Otherwise, the hands tend to fight. They don't get along. So you come up here. That's why you use a little finger on here, because the right hand is here, and this way you're out. If you use some other finger, no, it's up here. Just get the right hand out of the way a little bit, because in the last measure you got to do that. So you got to have that together. Now you can, if you would like, because the left hand is in the way, you can move your right hand down and use maybe 2 and 4 at the end, just to get it out of the way. Because 1 and 3, you're still here. I'll leave that up to you. But I think I would use 2 and 4 here, just to get the right hand back out of the way, because the left hand is here. And I want to connect those notes from here to here. I want to connect those. So we get the notes and the rhythms, and then we go back over the touchy spots, the hard parts, and we work out the hesitations. Because that last line, steady beat, so it's got to be a steady beat all the way through. No hesitations. Once I have that, then I think about the articulation. Here's the phrasing, but it's sort of built in for you because you have a rest at the end of the phrase. You have to lift up. So you're going to lift up anyway. So, and then the dynamics. MP for the first line is mezzo piano or moderately soft, sort of soft. Whatever you think sort of soft is. Not soft, sort of soft. Second line, you go up a little bit to mezzo forte, which is sort of loud, moderately loud. And the last line is forte. That's loud here. Just a lot of weight. Let the wrist collapse a little bit on this. Don't tense up and no loud. And then the next to the last measure, they have RH hover. They're telling you to leave your right hand here and just hover over, or just stay there over the notes. That's not part of the music. You don't get instructions like that. You have to figure out how to do that yourself. I'm suggesting that when you hover, go ahead and move down a little bit. So at the next to the last measure, that little arrow, you're going to get softer. You're going to go down to mezzo piano, or sort of soft like you were at the beginning. So you're loud, and then each note gets a little softer. Just each note here can get a little softer. As far as the speed goes, it just says in the style of a waltz. Just think of people waltzing. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Some of them, just a medium waltz. At the end, when you play this, you don't have to leave the left hand here. You can get it out of the way. It's okay. It's done. Don't copy me, please. Get into it. Feel it. Remember the natural accents? 1, 2, 3. 1. Exaggerate them if you need to feel them. Feel these. Teacher's question about how do you go about teaching somebody how to feel music? Because it's such a personal thing. How do you teach feeling? And there are different approaches to it. My approach, or the approach that I use, is that I start with the natural accents. Feel the natural accents first, and then we can get in and see if we can feel anything else at all. Maybe you felt a retardando at the end. Maybe you felt that. Well, it's interpretation. If people are actually dancing to it, don't retardando, because that messes them up. Keep a steady speed. So once you can play this without any hesitations, at least slowly, come back to the video and let's play it together. And we're going to check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any louds and softs, just notes and rhythms. I'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, go. Rest. 1, 2, rest. 2, 3, off.